hello again, this is Anthony from P.S.I. When I told you earlier we're going to be looking at some tantalising pieces of kit that you've all got at home and you've probably forgotten about, that can be used on a paranormal investigation and used to great effect, we're talking about the good old mobile phone. Yeah, I know, the mobile phone. Oh, you shouldn't use one of those, they contaminate evidence. Yeah, they do, but not if they're decommissioned. If you are using a mobile phone on a paranormal investigation, it needs no cellular activity on it at all. It doesn't even need to be connected to Wi-Fi unless you're transmitting from a live location. And that is the only reason. In fact, on any paranormal investigation, any team will tell you, or any team that knows the stuff will tell you, turn your phones off, keep it in your pocket, don't switch it on, because mobile phones do contaminate evidence or pieces of information that you're trying to pick up from an area. Mobile phones do this because what they do is they transmit and receive packets of information more than you know. And I don't know if you've ever worked with K2 meters or mil meters. They'll pick these things up every single day, and you will hear that code. That's the packet transmission that your phone is generating or receiving, and your evidence can just be awash with clicks and pops and things, and they're from these things. So if you do use an old mobile phone on paranormal investigation, it needs to be deactivated from its cellular transmitter, and ideally from Wi-Fi as well. That's a big no-no. Okay, so actually why I got talking about this tonight is because I was thinking about having a bit of a clear, I'll tell you. So I was going through a few drawers, and I actually came up with a bit of a gold mine. You know, these are all my old phones. There's 3 iPhones there and 1 Nokia. No one's perfect. So, anyway, let's talk about the Nokia first. And I bought this in a second-hand shop, or a thrift store, as you call them in the States. And it's nothing special. I've never ever used it as a phone, but I think it was £3.50, which is going to come to something like $5 as a rough translation. And to buy that amount of storage and computing power, it's worth £3.50 all day long. So I bought it, and you know, I guess it's actually not a bad phone. There's our little Henry on there. Yeah. So I was looking through all these phones earlier, and I thought, well, can you kind of like use any of these on a paranormal investigation? I came to the conclusion that you could. So this little Nokia mobile phone has a really, really nice audio recorder on it. You can see it there. I think it's Recorder Pro, and which records to the inbuilt memory on the phone. And any of you out there who would want to use something like this on a paranormal investigation, you can see the obvious quality of this. You can see the screen, you can see all the buttons, and it's a really easy interface to use. And the recording quality is actually quite good. Let me give you an example. Okay, I've just pressed record there, and you can see the timer ticking away there nicely. And all you do to stop it, press the same button that you press for record, and then it gives you the option to review straight away, or even to save your file after you've listened to it. Okay, I've just pressed record there, and you can see the timer ticking away there nicely. And all you do to stop it, there you go. And I've obviously pressed the button, so let's just get rid of that by resetting it. So yeah, but what a neat little device. What a neat little digital recorder. Now this isn't connected via cellular or Wi-Fi, that's all been turned off, but I am definitely going to use this little device because it's so easy to use in dark conditions, and the recording quality is second to none. So, so yeah, if you have any of these in your drawers at home, have a think about that. Let me show you something else. Now this is the old iPhone 4. It's actually the iPhone 4S. I thought this was one of the finest phones that iPhone actually brought out, but that could be just down to personal preference. I'd actually forgotten that I downloaded a couple of really neat programs to this before I literally decommissioned it as a phone and moved on to the iPhone 5C, which was a bit of a mistake. I should have stuck with this, but let me show you. Okay. Sorry, you get used to a more modern phone. I've got to open this up, and you kind of forget how to do it. There you go. The Iovilus. This is actually from Digital Dowsing, Bill Chappell's place, and I've had some really good results with this. And do you know when you forget you've got something? It's so hard to remember what programs you've actually got on a decommissioned phone, isn't it?
Iovilus on.
And it makes the sound of the Iovilus on. That just sounds like a real Iovilus. And what a great program. This does not spit out words every 2 seconds. Sometimes you're waiting 5-10 minutes for the phone sensors to pick up the right what should we call it? For the sensors to pick up the right environmental conditions for it to generate a word. But as I say, I have had some really good some really good responses on this. But you forget what you've got. And being an old phone, this isn't connected to any kind of cellular or Wi-Fi. In fact, it won't pick up Wi-Fi. I think that's the reason I changed it. But the Iovilus still works. If you read up about this, it's kind of exactly the same as an Iovilus, because it uses your iPhone, and any modern smartphone has an array of sensors in it. Very, very sensitive temperature sensors, hall sensors, proximity sensors, this, that and the other. It utilises all them. And it's just the software that you download that enables it to use these sensors. And it's such a waste being shut in a drawer. So I literally got it out and got it charged up today just to see what was on it. And I thought, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to use that on an investigation as well, because it's a great piece of kit. I did also download, and I remembered this, let's just come out of there.
Iovilus off.
Let's turn that off. Another one of Bill Chappell's pieces of software for the iPhone, the Digital Dowsing ITC. Instrumental Transcommunication Device. Now this is one of those phonetic generators, which processes pieces of language and puts them together, uses all the same set of sensors that the iPhone has got, and it works in a very, very similar way to the Iovilus. But again,
sensibly.
Sounds like it's trying to spell something out. But I don't know what that's trying to say, but again, if you were to buy something like this from Digital Dowsing, say more. Oh. Or did that say more? Yeah, strange. If you were to buy something like this from Digital Dowsing, Bill Chappell's place, it would cost you an arm and a leg. Well, I think they're called I think they're called a puck, aren't they, or something like that. You know, one of these phonetic devices. Well, you can I don't even know if you can still get this software, but it's here. It's on my iPhone 4. And it's getting used on the next paranormal investigation. Absolutely superb. Now let's turn that off. Just giving the confirmation that it is actually off. But brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then again, you're not throwing something away or sending it for recycling. You're actually recycling it. You're repurposing a device. And think again, all that computing power and all that memory that is sat in a drawer and you're not using, and it's bit of a waste, actually. So, okay, last but not least, Mark and I were talking about this. Oh heck, it's got to be 3 or 4 years now. Wondering if you could convert a camera on a cell phone to see an infrared. Well, you can. Very, very tiny camera at the top. I think this is it. Oh, actually, I can't remember what it is now. It's somewhere between 8 megapixel and 16 megapixel, which is enough. You get a razor sharp image on this, and its video facilities are absolutely fantastic. But we actually did convert the camera. We took the infrared screen off the camera, the IR cut filter, I think they call it, don't they? And it sees brilliantly in infrared. And if I can just show you an example. Where are we? Oh yes. Enter passcode. Here we are. Let me just show you what it's actually seeing on the camera. Get it onto camera. Okay. So we flip the screen. That's what it's seeing. So you can see my camera there. That's what it's seeing itself. That's actually seeing in infrared. And it takes some really, really good infrared videos. Now I'm just going to try and find an example. Now this is an example of an investigation we had some years ago now. I can tell you exactly what it was. 29th of June 2018. It's right there at the top. And as you can see, that was pitch black. This is all taken in infrared. This is taken on this camera with the right little illuminator. I'm definitely going to use this again because I've just been working on something and I think you'll be able to see the difference. This is my current setup. Well, I'm halfway through a build. We've just actually done an investigation on a building in Hull and we got into the basement, which was absolutely massive and pitch black. And the one thing that we found was, our IR throwers aren't throwing out light as they should. In fact, it's disappearing in the darkness. I don't know if you've come across that. We need far more powerful illuminators. So I'm in the middle of building one. So there's the row of IRs at the top. These are UVs, but I'm not happy with those. I'm going to change them. And this is the walking light, which is really, really very bright. But as you can see, I mean, it's quite a lump to carry around. Now, if I can put that in some kind of holster, and then I've got a clip-on back coming, and what I want is to make a little 9-volt powered infrared emitter just to stick to the front here. So I've got a nice little compact infrared video camera, and that's it. You know, look at that. So you've got your infrared camera and infrared video. You have your digital recorder for any EMFs you want to take. And then you have your ITC devices on this one. I mean, you've got to look at that. I'm holding it in one hand, as easy as that. That's your full kit for paranormal research. And we're talking about forgotten about technology. Just technology that's in your home, stuffed in a drawer. And, you know, do yourself a favour and put it to good use. Because if you were to buy these on their own, that actually did each job that these phones are doing, you'd be looking into the hundreds of dollars or hundreds of pounds, wouldn't you? And they're already there in a drawer at home. Take a look in your drawer, see what you can find. I hope that's inspired you, because it inspired me. They are definitely going in my paranormal kit, and I reckon we're going to have some fun with those. Yeah, I really do. Anyway, it's good night from me, and it's good night from the rest of them at P.S.I. So please subscribe. If you like old paranormal content, you know, if you subscribe, it means we can bring you more. And give us a like, give us a big thumbs up, and please leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you use mobile phones on your paranormal investigations, and how you use them. And tell us if you disconnect them before you actually use them, or I don't know. Just let us know in the comments, because it's yeah, just interesting, isn't it? So God bless you, and until next time. And as I say, please subscribe, because we're trying to put up as many videos as we can. And we'll see you next time. God bless you. Good night.